What's the haps, guys? I'm Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. So this is video number 26, which if there are 52 weeks in a year, and there are, that means we've been doing this for half a year. Oh, good lord, why are you people still watching? Remind me again? I can't believe this is actually my most popular series, but whatever, we'll go with it. I think by date, actually, I probably was at it half a year as of last week, because I think I started it on the 1st of November. If you actually look it up, I think the only reason I know that is because I created a Gamerson website, Gamerson profile a little while back, and that's a website which is for compiling and documenting Let's Plays. And it's a bit early, it's a bit rough, but it might be a nice little website to use if I can ever be bothered to use it properly. And it said, oh, your first Spiel video was on the 1st of November. I was like, oh, that's good to know. Anyway, notice those guys died pretty easily. We are in Tier 1 Iron Queen. We're in Tier 1 because it's the only readily accessible Fiend stratum available to me today. And, well, there is new content, and none of them are here, damn it. The new content is new Fiend content. All the Fiends have been sort of overhauled a bit. And they've added new Devilites, which I really wanted to see and show off. They are the Gorgos. I think some people kind of wanted me to do a special, but I didn't feel like it was actually enough content on its own to warrant doing, you know, the full half hour talking about the new content thing that I sometimes do. It just seemed like a minor addition. I know they did the promotional artwork for it, which is usually kind of a hallmark of one of the major updates, but it just didn't feel like that big a deal to me. So they've added these Gorgos, which are supposed to be just like big fat Devilites, I guess. And not really entirely sure how much they differ. The Grievers have got a bit of an overhaul. Grievers are now considered an elite mob and will spawn much rarer. I guess they're like lumbers are for constructs, I guess. A big heavy mob that doesn't spawn all that often and is designed to be a big heavy hitter. So they'll appear occasionally and they will be huge or something, I guess. So that's why I'm here doing the Fiends, because I'm really hoping to actually get a chance to see some of them. And there continues to be none over here as far as I can tell, which is a terrible, terrible shame. So people following yesterday will have seen a new series. Got the backlog reviews, which I kind of want to turn into a thing. I mean, I've been lamenting for the longest time that I don't get to do enough variety content, so this lets me do a bit of variety content and get through that dreaded back catalogue of games that you stack up after doing a bajillion and one Steam sales and bundles and whatnot. And what are these things? How to draw infernal symbols. Huh, cool. Can I learn more? These are... Oh, is this a... Oh, I think this is one of those, I forget what they're called. The rooms that have themes and stuff. Under performance, there will be no paid holidays or free coffee in the break room. Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't get... I forget what our... Scenario rooms, is that what they're called? I think it might be scenario rooms. Yeah, I've seen... I only ever seem to get the same few over and over again. I just figured there weren't that many of them. This is kind of cool. This is sort of employee break room. I like that. Nice little touch. So yeah, I shall try and continue to do backlog reviews for the foreseeable. Lets me do review style content, which I do enjoy doing from time to time. Allows me doing a variety of content, which stops me getting completely bored from doing the same 5 things week in, week out until I get completely, totally sick of it. And yeah, I get to clear up the old back catalogue, which grows worse with every passing week, really, quite honestly. At least I might actually have a chance to look at some of those things once in a while. Ow. Friggin' floppy disk in the face. How can that do so much damage? It's a floppy disk. You can't kill a man with a floppy disk. Well, you could try. So, also the Guns of Icarus live stream on Sunday. I hope some of you might have seen that. I did put an announcement up. I actually got it right this week. It actually went up before the stream started. that was a lot of fun. We'll definitely be doing that again next week. Probably Guns of Icarus again, just because that was a hell of a lot of fun. We ended up playing it 4 hours, and it didn't even feel like 4 hours. It just felt like we just burned through no time at all. It's so easy to lose time in that game. It's brilliant. Oh! I don't even know why I need jars. I don't need jars. So, yep, next Sunday afternoon stroke evening, depending on time zone, we shall be doing more Guns of Icarus, in all likelihood. Keep your eyes peeled for that. It's cool. So, got a question this week. It comes from Gnomza, who, hey, that's a familiar name. Oh wait, yeah, he asked a question last week. Maybe I'm being a bit biased towards one person answering all of his questions. Or maybe nobody else is asking them. Come on, people, ask me some questions. You're letting one man run the show here, and it's not even me. Letting some guy you don't even know direct my show. You gonna let him walk all over you like that? No. So, Gnomza asks this week, do you have any thoughts you would like to share on the education of young people all around the world? Nope. Next question. Well, it's not exactly a hot topic issue for me, I'll be honest. It's not something I give a great deal of consideration to. I have, for the most part, finished my education beyond what I might read on Wikipedia, and I certainly have no descendants over whom to be concerned about the future of their education. Not at this present stage, anyway. So, now, do we actually want to continue on here? Let me just check the gate map. Do we have any more chance of fiends? Now, that's literally the only options we had for fiends. I could keep going down and try and go down to this one, and then there's like a 66% chance of fiend. Oh my god, there's no fiends on any of the gates, really, at all. There's like Stratum 6 tier... well, obviously tier 3. Stratum 6 on one of the gates, but that would involve me fighting my way through 4 other floors of Stratum 5 actually to get there in the first place, and I'm not that dedicated to the cause, what can I say? So we're gonna go down and have a look at this. Maybe we can get to the other fiends, because there's like apparently only 4 floors in the game that have fiends right now. Right when they're trying to show off how awesome new fiends are. Oh well. So yes, edumacation. Edumacation. Not... ooh, treasure! That's just the distraction I wanted. Yay, treasure! No, edumacation and treasure. So, I love the music in this level. So I have the attention span of a flea, apparently, and probably shouldn't be talking about education. But here we go. I don't think my education was particularly standard, so I don't know how well versed I am to talk on this subject particularly. I went to a grammar school, which is not a thing my predominantly American audience is likely to be familiar with. The one common misconception all of my co-workers seem to think of it as, you know, Harry Potter is the best analogy I can possibly give to it. It's sort of really old-fashioned boarding school, usually stereotyped as being like an all-boys one, and generally a fairly sordid affair, to be quite honest. Oh, you know what goes on behind doors there? Oh, all the older boys, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit. But no, that's not what that is. I mean, there are many grammar schools in the UK which certainly used to be and are now private schools. Some still operate like that. As it actually happens, the actual concept of a grammar school is that it is open to the entire public. There are no fees involved. It's not a private school. That's the one thing I do need to stress. I did not pay some elite premium for my education. I got my education through what I'm assured was hard work. Basically, the whole point of a grammar school, a proper grammar school, not one of the newfangled grammar schools that's actually just a private school, the original ones, is that it's for the smartest and brightest people. At the age of 11 you take a test, which in my day was called the 11 plus, and these days I think they've rebranded it, certainly last I heard, to the Acorn test, which is probably some silly acronym for something, I don't know what, maybe something charming and whimsical to appeal to the children. Certainly that's what I think Acorn sounds like. Oh, maybe we can get the children to take this optional test at the age of 11 by making it sound friendly by calling it Acorn. I don't know, maybe that's the thinking. I have no idea. I don't work in education. I don't even know what it stands for. So yeah, if you do well enough on that test, I think the metric my particular school used, don't know whether it's standard across the board, is the top 30% scoring on that test get access to this school. So you can go to a standard, ordinary, run-of-the-mill school for everybody to go to, or you can go to one of these fancy schools because you did well on a test. And that's about that. I mean, it was a bit further away from where I lived, so there was costs incurred as far as like transportation was concerned, but it's not like I was paying, oh, my parents paid £2,000 a year for me to attend this school. It's nothing crazy like that. I don't even know how much private schools cost. I'm just ballparking there. So no, I got there on my own merits, but this is frequently diminished by the fact that most people just think it's a paid education. And that's up for considerable debate as to whether that's actually better. I guess the general consensus is that it is, but I don't know. So yeah, it is basically, for all intents and purposes, much like any ordinary school that any other person might attend to, but for smart people, which, yeah, there were smart kids, there were stupid kids, stupidish as far as you can be for the top 30% scoring on a test at the age of 11. There were people who were cool, people who weren't, you know, standard cliques, kids will be kids, you know how it goes. And, you know, no big deal, just considerably less scum of the earth, I think, is probably the best way I could probably put that. So, I can't say it was a particularly poor education. It was quite alright, quite civilized. Certainly the lack of scum of the earth I can approve of, but whatever. In school, I was a geek. I didn't have a great time. I disapproved of school on those grounds. I grew up in a time when it was hard to be a geek. Geek was not cool in my day. So if you want actual thoughts on the subject of education as a political hot topic issue, I think the biggest issue with schooling in this current day and age is the issue of curriculum, because everybody seems to want different things taught. Some people, well, everyone's got a lot of people that want things specifically taught that often have, well, certainly agendas going on. I mean, the most flagrant, obvious case of this, I guess, would be your intelligent design advocates. I've equipped totally the wrong weapons for this. Oh, can I change? I just entered a jelly stratum with piercing weapons. How dumb can you get? Pretty dumb. Well, this should make the video last a bit longer, because it's going to take 50 hits to kill every enemy. Hey. Oh, good lord, they don't die, and this is a Barbara's Thorn blade. It's not supposed to work like that. Give me my stuff back. Oh. Oh. Stupid. So yeah, you got the folks who want other people who want their kids to learn a specific thing, and as a byproduct want all the kids to learn a specific thing, and it's usually not necessarily the most well researched or educated kind of thing. I mean, I'm not going to beat about the bush. In that particular debate, I'm certainly in favour of education. But as far as, I don't know where I need to head. I think there was loot back this way. As far as intelligent design as opposed to creationism is presented, it can be presented as a scientific thing. I mean, as a sort of hypothesis, say mankind evolved far beyond where we currently are. I mean, at the moment we're at the stage where we can genetically modify cells in laboratories and genetically modify animals and dolly the sheep and all that jazz. And what's to say it's so far-fetched that we couldn't sort of create new life and things from scratch? What if a vastly superior technological civilization to ours decided to create and well, basically just seed other planets with life. What if some scientist got that into his head that one day he wanted to go over to Mars, terraform it a bit, throw down some primordial, that's the word, primordial goop, and make life. That could work, in theory, and in much sci-fi literature, certainly. Is that totally implausible? I wouldn't have said so, and that does fall within the remit of intelligent design, so yeah, you could kind of argue that, but it's got no actual evidence to back it up, so it's not really the sort of thing you want to be teaching. It's like, oh, this is a theory that could happen because it sounds pretty plausible. It's not a great base to do your science on. Have I got these going the right way? Yeah, I have. So, yeah, as far as that's going, I don't think things should be taught in science classrooms that aren't, you know, rigorously scientifically tested. Surely science lessons are about science, and so I'm saying different people all want different stuff taught, and everybody's got their own issues to try and force on the children. Is force the right word? I don't know. But yeah, kids are impressionable. Whatever they're taught is what they believe. I mean, for God's sake, I know certainly we'd learned chemistry like 3 times over when I did chemistry. When you start learning this basic form of chemistry, and you're like, oh, this is cool, and it's like, oh, I know how to do some basic chemistry. And then a few years later, like, okay, forget everything we've taught you, we're going to teach you it differently now. What you learned was a really basic, fundamental principle of it. Actually, the way it actually works in reality is nothing remotely like that, and we're going to relearn it. You're like, what? Why would you do that? Why didn't you just teach us that in the first place? And then you learn the new stuff. And then about 2-3 years later, certainly A-level standard, they come to you again and say, you know, everything you learned at GCSE level, well, now that's wrong. We're going to teach you it all again. It's like, why were you lying to us? But you see, it's not lying, but you know, as someone who was keen to learn new things, I kind of felt like, you know, what's the point in teaching things that are incorrect? Not incorrect, they're just greatly simplified for impressionable younger minds to absorb the topic at hand, I guess. And as such, yeah, like I say, impressionable young minds. So you tell kids stuff, they'll believe you. If you start going on and on about how God definitely made the world in 7 days, and you know, they'll lap it up. And you do get, and this is something I do object to, you do get very, very religious schools, and it's like, I think they tend to be private schools as well. It's like, because they're private, they can teach what they want, their own curriculum, and it's like, you're teaching them entirely different stuff to every other school in the country. Surely this is the sort of thing that needs standardizing. Surely everybody should be getting the same education. And that's just kind of a weird idea. I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I guess most people are okay with it, otherwise it wouldn't be a thing. But most of these issues do seem to stem from the issue of religion, to be fair. Everybody who wants something different taught is usually seems to be, the nub of the matter is, how can we make these children believe in God? And that's a pretty crummy way to go about doing things. I'm all in favor of believing in God. I just don't like people trying to force other people to believe what they believe for no particularly great reason other than they think they should. Believe what you want, but don't inflict it on me. In the vein of non-standard curriculum, I can't remember where it was. I don't know if this is an American one or a UK one. I do recall hearing, not so long since in the news, some story of a school that was underperforming. So in order to fix it up, basically the teachers... Is this a Simpsons episode? I think this is a plot of a Simpsons episode as well, actually. Well, I think this actually happened. So the parents took over managing the school and directing the curriculum. It's like, none of you are remotely qualified. How can you be allowed to do that sort of thing? teachers teach because they're qualified to teach. They spent a lot of time and money and effort becoming a teacher. You don't just walk into the school and say, I'm qualified to take all the other parents' children and teach them what I want them to learn. That's a bit weird. Education's just a mess, I think, all over the world. Certainly in Western society. I have no idea how it works, sort of like in, I don't know, like Japan. I have no idea what their education system's particularly like. Anything I might be basing my opinion on in that regard would probably be anime, and that's probably not terribly accurate, I suspect. Probably a degree of exaggeration and stylization going on there. To take it a step up from parents teaching, there's been homeschooling, which I don't think is particularly a thing in the UK, but it seems to be more prevalent, if not widely prevalent. Certainly more prevalent in the US. I don't know why this should be. Maybe you just, again, distrust the school system more and want your kids to learn what you want them to learn. Again, I can understand the reasoning why you would want kids to learn, but again, you're not a teacher, so what makes you think you're actually qualified to equip your child with everything he needs to go forth in life? I'm sure you think you're a very wise and educated person of the world, but to be honest, most people just aren't. No. It's just straight up no. Right, let's go. Ooh, we got fiends. Yeah, let's do fiends. Let's see if we can get some Gorgos. To knock it up one notch yet again, the worst idea of education I've actually heard of, and this is definitely properly a rarity, not even remotely common. Some ancient post I saw on Reddit, there was some rather preachy teenager advocating, oh, I've got the right equipment now because we're fighting fiends, huzzahs! Some rather preachy sounding teenager advocating, well, say, essentially self-schooling. Apparently, you reckon, he was so, ooh, what, oh, these are Gorgos! Hello, check the Gorgos! I'll finish my thoughts in a moment. Let's have a look at the Gorgos and see what they do. Sweet, they flop around and try and bite you. Okay. So they're basically slow, clumsy, devilite cats, I guess? Spook cats? Slow, clumsy, devilite equivalent spook cats that don't actually seem to pose a terribly great threat, if I'm honest. I could be totally wrong about them. They might be absolutely destructive in tier 3, but we will never know. Okay, we might very easily know in the future, but right now, tier 1's all we got, so we'll go with it. So let's see if we can find some more of those guys. We should find some freezy ones, because it's a freezing level. Or maybe they were the freezy ones. Don't know. Nope, you are not Gorgos. You die now. You shall die for not being Gorgos. Actually, you'd probably die if you were Gorgos. That is the nature of the game. Everything must be stabbed. No more Gorgos? Oh, you disappoint me. Can we try some of the new Grievers? Do we get any new Grievers? Because I want to see what they look like. I imagine they look pretty much the same, actually. They might be a bit bigger to make them an elite mob. Fiends already have an elite mob, though. Kind of already got the Trojans, so I don't know. Why do Grievers need to be elite? Grievers were fine, I thought. Well, fine-ish. In a big group, they're a bit annoying, but still nothing incomparably difficult. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Check these guys. So, where was I? On the education front, yeah, some rather snotty, up himself sounding teenager advocating staying at home all day, not even learning from one's elders, learning by sitting and reading books. Now, I don't think that's for everyone. In fact, I think very, very, very few people would have the wherewithal to be able to do that. But at the same time, it's not a directed curriculum, so you're kind of picking what you think is going to equip you best in life. And to be honest, if you're 14, 15, 16, you probably haven't got the best judgment in the world on affairs. I suspect I probably have people of that age in my audience, so no offense to you intended, but I can quite comfortably look back at what I was like in 25 and say, 25? No, 25 is what I am now. I can look back at what I was like when I was 15 and quite comfortably say, I would have been in no position to choose my future. And as a matter of fact, at 16, you know, you do get to pick subjects, and then at 18 you choose university courses, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't qualified to pick a university course at 18, to be quite honest with you. I was stupid. I went into video games design, or attempted to. That didn't work out. It's a ridiculous course to pick. So, no, I don't think that's a particularly great idea, but apparently, if you so choose, that's an option you can go down. What possible qualification would you get out of that at the end if you taught yourself? You know what, do you award yourself your, I don't know, high school diploma or GCSEs or A-level or what have you? That doesn't seem practical. Who's the awarding body, or are you just supposed to go out into the world with your knowledge and impress employers by telling them that you've learned everything you know by yourself? I think many of them would just laugh, surely. Who knows? To touch on the whole I made a stupid choice over my degree kind of thing again, not necessarily stupid. A lot of people go, oh, we got a degree, that's more than a lot of people have got. And yeah, it's true. But at the same time, I do feel like, were I given the option to go back and pick my degree again, I would not pick video games design. I got an offer from another university to do geology. For God's sake, that would be a hell of a lot more useful. It sounds boring on the surface. Oh, you're going to be studying rocks. Well, let's be honest. It would probably wind up with a very, very lucrative career in the oil industry of some sort. I'd probably retire at like 40. Instead, here I am, entertaining you guys instead. I think I made the right choice, right? Yeah, if I could go back and do it again, I probably would pick a science subject, and it is definitely something I have considered, but one of the biggest concerns, not just for myself, but for a lot of people with the education system in the UK right now, is the whole bloody tuition fee fiasco, because it now costs £9,000 a year to do university. By the time you're done an undergraduate course, you're talking 27. If you carry on beyond that, that's like even more still. You can only get loans for the first, I'm not sure if it's the first degree you do or the first 4 years of degrees that you do. So whilst I've already got a ridiculous chunk of loan to pay back on the basis of my existing degree, were I to go and do it again, not only would it cost me approximately 3 times more than my last one did, but I would be expected to pay for it myself because I wouldn't be able to get a loan, or I would actually have to take out, you know, a proper loan, not a student loan, and I would then end up minimum £27,000 in debt to the bank and not to the student loans company, who would be charging a tremendous amount of interest, and that would be damn near impossible to pay back, except by doing so over the course of most of my lifespan. So that sounds fun. So yeah, the next election I'm voting for whoever gets rid of the tuition fee for mature students, or for all students. Either or is good, because then I can go and perhaps try my hand at something I actually genuinely might be remotely decent at, instead of trying to code and failing. I am not a coder. Of course, by the time that happens, I might have made it really big on YouTube and be able to make a career out of it. So that's the other dream, right? People watching the occasional advert on my channel to support me because they support my work so much. might pay my bills. That would be nice. That would be real nice. So yeah, that's probably. I think that's probably all I got on education. It's pretty messed up, especially in Western society, and it's too damn expensive. Yep. That's me on the topic. So now we get the usual Spiral Knights commentary of dodging bullets and shooting howletzers, and this is tier 1, this is trivial, I don't even need to be dodging this stuff. Why am I playing the game properly? I don't need to, I can just burn my way through it like crazy. So, if you've got a question and you are not Gnomza, in fact Gnomza feel entirely free to keep asking me questions because no one else is, but yeah, if you've got a question to ask, and you may or may not be Gnomza, please do so in the comments below, because you will shape the direction of my channel and you will be an important figure in history, and maybe people will look back in years to come and say, hey, isn't that so and so? That's the guy who asked that question on Spiel one time. That's a really big and massively successful TV show now. Wow, I'd really like to ask a question on his show, but it's so big I couldn't possibly get on it these days. So you could get in now by asking the question now while the queue's short. In fact, the queue's non-existent. So you see the little comments field down there? You think of the best down question you could possibly ask me, and you go right ahead and ask it. And then I'll have something cool to talk about next week. Gnomes, I fully expect to go with something as well, because that's just what he does. Am I pronouncing your name right? Because you posted some silly comments about how I pronounced it last week, and it's spelled like gnome with z on the end. So surely it's gnomes, or is that just like entirely wrong? Gnomza? Gnomza? Tell me, sir. Tell me, good sir. How exactly do I pronounce your name? Whilst I stab this guy in the back with a snarble axe. Ha! That did no damage at all. This is ridiculous. Oh my god, that does 4 damage a bullet. That does 7 damage a bullet. That's a little bit better. Oh my god. Oh, there's another one. Oh, that's no. I can't fight these guys. I'm not doing enough damage. I really need to start equipping weapon trinkets again. I just don't actually find enough time to play Spiral Knights to warrant equipping the trinkets anymore. Time was I'd walk around with 4 weapons and 2 trinket slots, and then for the most part these days I pretty much only play to record this. It's not that I don't enjoy the game, it's just that I've got that many other things to record and things to do. I've got a lot of hobbies and stuff like that. So I don't find time for this, and now of course I'm playing Guns of Icarus because it's amazing. And I have seriously started playing since that. I've owned it since it launched, but not played a lot of it. And then since that live stream on Sunday, oh my god, it's taken on a life of its own. It's so satisfying to gun people down on an airship. Who knew? Particularly if you've got a competent crew working together reasonably well. Communication preferred, but not essential. Just a good bit of teamwork. Teamwork's great. Oh boy, this video's run long. Okay, so good job we are at the end here. So, as usual, thank you very, very much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Don't forget to also throw me a like down there. Click the little like button if you enjoyed watching this, because that really helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you're not already, because I do lots of content 5 days a week, plus some live streaming on Sunday, which will probably get posted on the channel on the following Saturday. So there's lots for you to see if you subscribe to me now. Why don't you do that? Okay. Thank you very much again, guys. I'm Meroka, and I shall see you next time.